Hello and welcome to a Pioneer video. This is my first video post release of Ikoria, and unless you've been living underground with your fingers in your ears for the last few days, companions are all the rage. Uh, the companion mechanic, if you're not familiar, is you each companion has some sort of deck building restriction, and if your deck meets that restriction, you can cast this card once per game out of your sideboard. So Yorion's deck restriction is that you have to have at least 20 cards more than the minimum deck size. So you'll notice up here the 80 cards in this deck, and as a payoff, as a reward for playing too many cards, we get this 5 mana 4/5 flyer that blinks any number of your non-land permanents when it arrives. So we have a pretty sweet list here. This is from Andrea Menguuci. He tweeted this list this morning. He went 5-0 in a Pioneer preliminary with it. And basically it's just a bunch of value permanents that draw you a card when they come into play, or exile something, or you could reset your Planeswalker. And basically, like, Yorion is not super broken. Luris and Zerda and Lutri are other companions that seem to be doing dirty things in the older formats like Legacy and Vintage. But Yorion, I think, is the most wholesome of them. And because really this is just like a big Mull Drifter that's guaranteed to be in your hand when you want it. At some point, so we basically just want to trade 1 for 1, answer our opponent's things, stay alive long enough to stick this dragon, draw a few cards off it, then ride it to victory. So that's the plan. And I have not played with an 80 card deck in Constructed basically in my entire life. I've played a bit of Commander, but I have not tried to make a coherent 80 card deck ever. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And the games should probably play out pretty differently compared to normal Constructed because we just have significantly more cards to wade through in each game. Let's go try it out. All right, so the way companions work is after you decide who's going first and before you see your opening hand, you reveal that you have a companion and who it is. So our opponent is a Luris deck, and we are a Yorion deck. So they're going to be low to the ground. The deck building requirement for Luris is that the permanents in your deck have to cost 2 or less. Luris lends itself to hyper-aggressive decks or combo decks. So let's see what the opponent is up to. We have a hand of land and spells, and in an 80 card deck, we're not really going to get a sweeter deal than that. Like, mulliganing for a specific composition or type of card is probably a mistake in this kind of deck. I think I'm going to get a Plains. I believe this gets a basic forest, yeah. So I'm going to get a Plains with this because we have this double white card in the hand already. Nissa can get the second green. I don't think we need double blue for anything. Alright, Inspiring Vantage. So our opponent is likely something aggressive. Yep, confirmed. So Luris Burn, or Luris Aggro, whatever you want to call it. I guess the alternative is I could get an island to cast a pain-free opt. And if we ever want to escape Uro, we can't have 2 basic planes, so I'm actually going to get island. I changed my mind. I'm allowed to do that. Ooh, that was the best draw. I was about to say the best draw on the deck is Baffling End. So let's baffle this get to Lavamancer before it does anything bad to us. Alright, so we're going to take some beats here. Unfortunately, because we drew Baffling End, we're going to have to shock to play Nissa unless we draw an untapped green source. Yeah, I'm going to shock in the Nissa. I think that's worth doing. I mean, taking damage sucks against the aggro deck, but Missing land drop sucks more. And they are going to have to address this Nissa either by smashing into it or spending a burn spell on it. Smashing into it isn't that bad though because of Luris. Like they can just ram Lavamancer into it, get a trade, and then recast the Lavamancer at some point. Looks like Face is the place though. Alright, light up the stage. Okay, they can't cast any of those. They hit Lightning Strike and Pyromancer. My pop-out boxes are getting weird because I had to pop out the companions. Alright. And I'm definitely still going to block and save 2 life here. Luris can eventually redeploy that, but that's a little bit of time away and worth it. So I'm going to opt before I Uro here, because if I find a second land, I want to be able to deploy it. Alright, yeah. Top. And Uro. This will gain some life. Jump us ahead on resources a bit. Alright, does this matter? I don't think so. Baffling End's kind of awkward because you don't really want to blink it with Yorion. Though it's probably worth it if they get the Luris into play. Like I would trade them having Luris for a 3/3 anytime. But any other creature, blinking Baffling End would basically be upgrading it. Alright, we take our 5 here. Alright, found another Baffling End, not bad. 3 or greater, so that hits very little out of their deck. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I might just have to jam Yorion here as just a creature that exists on the battlefield, because it's either jam Yorion or Omen of the Sea and hope to find something. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's greedy, but whatever. Came to party. Don't need all these lands. I still have a land drop for the turn. That's good. Alright, so I can't Omen first, so I have to Uro first. And hope to hit a land off of this Uro. And then we can also Baffling End. Alright, missed on that. I gained some life. Let's see if we're dead. They have 3 on board. They have a prowess creature. Ooh, they could Luris plus Lavamancer. So they actually have 5 on board. We need a Supreme Verdict real bad. There's 4 of them in the deck. Right. Yikes. And we're dead zos. Maybe I should have baffled the Swift Spear instead of going for the Uro. Yeah, if we baffled Swift Spear, we could also Omen. Yeah, that might have been better. I'm willing to believe it. Alright, Knight of Autumn coming in. This card has gain 4 life written on it, and it's a very good target to blink with Yorion. And then Aether Gust can bottom or top. Red spells. Elspeth Conqueror's Death is actually pretty bad here. They have very few targets for the exile ability. The rest of these cards all gain life or advance my board in some way. Uro's great, Courser's great. Maybe Big Teferi is a little slow. That's not really what this matchup's going to come down to. Little Teferi also not super exciting in this matchup. Because it'll usually just like bounce a thing and then die, and all of their things that we can bounce have haste or have an enters the battlefield ability. So I'm pretty low on Teferi. But all of our exile-based removal, I'll take that. I'd like to play first. I'd like to reveal my companion. Uh, this is not exciting. Like, Baffling End is one of the best cards in the deck, but we're not doing anything else. I think we have to mulligan that. Alright, this one is a keep. I can get rid of one of these Uros. We don't need two, and I have Satyr Wayfinder to set up the Uro. And I found that you have to pop out the companions, or else they'll pop in and out based on when you can cast them, which is just the worst. Alright, let's find the way. Breeding Pool. So we'll have to take two to deploy a Breeding Pool, and Fabled Passage is going to come into play tapped. So I think just taking Basic Forest is the line here. There aren't many things in the deck that require double blue. I guess escaping Uro is one of those things, though. I'm just going to block. Just never not. Save damage wherever I can. Alright, I'm going to destroy target enchantment with Night of Autumn. Destroy target artifact or enchantment, that one. Alright, we are going to need some lands moving forward here. I think if I draw a land, I'm going to try to Uro up another one, and if I don't draw a land, I'll Wayfinder. Or maybe I'm just supposed to Wayfinder either way. Boros Charm and Inspiring Vantage. Those are good cards. Butts. I'm going to take my trade where I can get it. Thraben Inspector. Alright, that changes things. So I want to find the way, and then I can also inspect. So I do need a blue source. Glacial Fortress is a blue source, and so is Lumbering Falls. So the question is, am I casting Thraben Inspector or leaving up Aether Gust? And I think the answer is casting Thraben Inspector. But Glacial Fortress also gives us double white, which there are cards that care about that. Right, yeah, I'm just going to get the Glacial Fortress, but I'm still just casting Inspector. So they have a use it or lose it Boros Charm. A haste creature pairs well with that. I'm just going to block both. The double block doesn't matter because they have to cast this Boros Charm this turn anyway. They're already forced to make this play pretty much, so we're not even getting them. All right, so drawing a land so we can Uro and hold up Aether Gust would be pretty great. That's something. Unfortunately, Lurrus, they get to just redeploy immediately one of the creatures, but then we can kill Lurrus next turn. If we don't do this, do we get a next turn, I guess, is the big question. So if I Uro, then I have 11 life. If it hits a land, we're holding up Aether Gust, but I'm going to plan for the worst and assume it's not going to hit a land. So we're just at 11 life, and we have Uro returning next turn for good. So they have 2 damage. Lightning Strike deals 5, so that's 7. And so 2 Lightning Strikes, each one deals 5. I'm dead to 2 Lightning Strikes. 2 Shocks, each one deals 4, so that's 4, 8, 9, 10. I'm still alive to 2 Shocks. If they go Lurrus, creature from the graveyard, I take 5 or 4. And then Supreme Verdict is a pretty nice mop up after that. It gets the Lurrus with it. All right, I'm gonna swing for the fences with the Uro here. Come on, land. Nice. And I am going to pay the 2, because that's going to be worth it to hold up Aether Gust. I think that represents more than 2 damage, just having that card available to us. It does tell the opponent loud and clear that we have a play, though. Because you definitely don't shock at 11 life against the burn deck if you don't have a play. Unfortunately, Lurrus doesn't get gusted. That would be my favorite thing to hit. But hitting Soulscar Mage, that one doesn't have haste. It's one of the few threats in their deck that doesn't have haste or an enters the battlefield ability. Light up the stage. Interesting. So if I gust that, that's super awkward for them. And if they go like land lightning strike, I think is the most damage they can represent. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Am I dead to that if they go land lightning strike? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yes. So I think if they had lightning strike, they wouldn't be lighting up the stage right now. I'm just gonna gust that and hope we're not dead. Uh-oh. Do they have it? All right. They didn't have it. I think we need Uro in play. Blue, blue, green, green. I don't think there's any cards in my deck that care about the graveyard. That was a really good draw. Just another blocker that we can play for 1 mana. And they didn't have a burn spell last turn or they would have played it. All right, there's the light up the stage again. That's good for us. And it gets them through those two lands, which is good for them, but like they would have definitely rather cast a spell. Hopefully they just jam Luris and we get a Supreme Verdict right back into this game. Yeah, this should shut the door once we wrath this away. Just gonna attack with Uro and then cast Supreme Verdict. That's my plan. That's gonna come into play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not gonna pay 2 life for that. Even though I think I can afford it and it would let me draw a card with a clue, I can still opt anyway, so it's not like I'm losing a play. Oh, I need a blue mana in there somewhere. White, blue. The lands did it, I just have them wrong. Alright, so now we're at 11 and they're drawing off the top. The Luris is gone. That was not the mountain that they had exiled. Alright, cool. So we managed to stabilize and turn the corner that time. I don't know if our configuration can get better. Like Uro is really important. Everything that has gain life written on it is in the deck already. Everything that removes a creature. I guess Teferi is like quote unquote removal, but fake removal for the reasons I already described. Barrier Breach can exile Eidolons. I don't know if that's the world I want to live in. It cycles, worst case scenario, but yuck. That spending 2 mana to cycle a card when you're facing down like multiple Swift Spears sounds pretty bad. Alright, this hand, the mana's a little painful to get going, but it functions. It has a Courser. Like, I'm not gonna mulligan this. Drawing a check land, like one of the ones that like Hinterland Harbor would be pretty great. I guess I probably should have played the Breeding Pool, because if I draw an untapped land, Satyr Wayfinder is the play I want to make. Alright, turns out it didn't seem to matter. The fact that they've passed their last 2 turns without playing a creature tells me that they have a spell-heavy hand. Like, they're just going to start flinging burn spells at us. And I just gotta hope that we are able to answer that. Because my hand's actually pretty bad at answering creatures. Yeah, like if they had this any earlier, they would have played it. That was the draw for their turn, I guarantee it. Untap land. So it's a land and we do need lands, but I think I need an untap land better or more. Willing to be a little greedy on that one. All right, this is great. So I can play this Inspector and I can hold up Aether Gust or Growth Spiral. I could also just Satyr Wayfinder and try to puke an Uro into the bin. Though Aether Gusting a Soulscar Mage is such a big tempo play. And I'm also holding up draw a card with Clue. Like I'm representing so many different things right now. I kind of like this. All right, Lightning. Light up the stage. So now the question is, do I gust now? No, I let this happen. All right, so Eidolon of the Great Revel is in their hand. Do I have a plan for that? I could save this gust for Eidolon, but saving 3 damage now when they invested a couple spells into making this large seems pretty good. And they bottom that. It's gone forever. Oh no, I don't have double green. FML. All right. That might have been a mistake somewhere. I'll own up to that. So I'm not gonna shock in to play Corsair. I wanna Corsair when I know it's gonna when I might be able to get a land drop off it. So I'll play Wayfinder now. Breeding Pool, Hallowed Fountain, Hallowed Fountain. Wow, that's a lot of shock lands. All right, so we are gonna need, or we already have blue, blue, green, green. We have double white. Yeah, we have double every color already. So I guess I'll take the Breeding Pool. I'm not gonna pay 2 life. Do I get to attack? Should I even attack? Yeah, whatever. I'll get my point where I can. It's likely that they're going to cast Eidolon this turn. They've missed their last land drop, so unless they draw a land this turn, they don't have a land to play, so Eidolon might just be their whole turn. Lightning Strike. Alright, so they are just trying to get over the finish line here. That's not a white card. So I'm looking for Knight of Autumn, LOL. Alright, found Knight of Autumn immediately. Knight of Autumn is great against the burn hands because gaining life is just a firm reverse counter spell. Like just undoes all the things they've done. Like that undoes like the Boros Charm from earlier. And if we get to Yorion on this thing, like now we're gonna start going nuts. Because once we put Yorion on the stack, they're gonna have to either burn this or let me gain another 4 life. All right, yeah, so they spent a burn spell on this thing, so it was basically good for 7 life. I'll take that all day, every day. And end of turn, we're going to Growth Spiral. Even found a removal spell for this Lavamancer. Let's Corsair. We have an opt to manipulate it a little bit. Green, green. All right, so we've left up opt. That's really good. Top. And baffling end that thing. Oh, there's so many boxes on my screen right now. And they packed it up. Yeah, we got over the hump there. They were not able to get a creature into play, a repeatable source of damage, and the pool in Pioneer for an actual just spell-based burn deck doesn't really exist. Oh, that was sweet. All right, so we're on the play for match 2, and our opponent is also a Yorion deck. I'm excited about this. I'm going to keep this hand. It needs blue mana, but we have plays to make along the way. It's probably safe to shock myself for better mana in the Yorion mirror. I don't know if there's a Yorion aggro deck that could exist, but I'll take the freebie where I can. Uh-oh. Yeah, if they went like Monastery's Whisper there, they would have got me real good. All right, so I'm shocking now because I want to draw with my clue. Hinterland Harbor is the best land in my deck to draw because that gives me blue and double green without costing any life. There's only 2 of those though, so I'm not going to get too excited. They're Jeskai. Oath of Chandra. Battlefield under your control. Oath deals 2 to each opponent. Okay, so I can still cast Planeswalkers freely. That's good. I have a lot of them. Ask and you shall receive. That's my rule in Magic the Gathering. Just always shout out the card you want to draw, and it'll be there. Just hit your 2 of out of an 80 card deck. NBD. 3 damage to target creature. So I could bounce this and let them reset it, and I get another card, or I can just plus to fairy. I think plussing has to be better. Eventually they're going to make a play. And unless they go like Detention Sphere this turn, like that's the one that would punish me real hard for plussing instead of bouncing, because then I don't get a card. But resetting their removal spell doesn't sound exciting either. Let's see if they have a Teferi of their own. How powerful are they? Alright, they had the Detention Sphere. That's kind of lame, but it's also just fine. Like, whatever. It's still a 1-for-1 trade. If I bounced this, I think the cards would have stayed even because I would have gotten a card off Teferi, but they would have the Oath back in their hand. Alright. I'm gonna play the Courser, hope to find a land on top. If it's not there, I can play this Opt. I think we need 7 lands. Yeah, alright. This flips on 7 lands. So I think I want to be pretty patient with her. Like I think we will reach a point in this game where I can play Nissa, search for a land, and then immediately flip her and start getting card advantage. I'm going to take 2 from Oath of Chandra here. Wow, it looks like they're missing a land drop. That's really bad in a control mirror. So I could stick my Teferi now while the coast is clear. Or I could get this Courser back in. I think having pressure on the board is going to be more important here. It's going to be what this game is about. So I can get the extra card, but then I miss on Seder Wayfinder. I'll take the extra card. Yeah, while they're missing land drops, just anywhere I can start to pull ahead is a good place. All right, they drew a land this turn. And I can attack Teferi, so I can force some action out of them, or they just lose their Teferi. They bottomed with their temple. Gideon of the Trials. Alright, so that's going to make Courser not deal any damage. Alright, got it. Right, do I need triple green? No. So I can get the extra card off Courser here. Big Teferi incoming. We like that. That means I can't cast my Courser though, unfortunately. Or my Wayfinder, whatever this thing is. So again, we're in the position of I could get a card or just not. This having 4 toughness makes me kind of want to do this, but at the same time, I just totally don't want to do that. Yeah, I'll just plus. I really want this Teferi in play to make sure this Teferi resolves. That's the big move here. So we can F6 because they have a small Teferi. They're not bluffing anything. If they miss their land drop, then they can't big Teferi first. Alright, so they can attack small Teferi for 4. I'm not going to block that. I don't think that I care that much. Like they could use a burn spell to finish it off, but then they would need a burn spell and a counter spell. So they could big Teferi first. Oh, they're a fires deck, my god. That's a good reason to get this below 2. Yikerinos. So they can cast Yorion right now for free. Is that how this works? Skulls, we'll never know. Spells only during your turn and no more than 2 spells each turn. Yeah, so it doesn't matter where they come from. So they can Yorion right now, which could reset a number of things if they want to. They could like add a loyalty to Teferi. They lose a loyalty off Gideon. They would deal 2 damage to me with Oath. Blinking Sphere doesn't make any sense. Alright, Supreme Verdict. I don't really care about that. Okay, so we have this big Teferi now. I mean, I'm certainly going to cast it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We can Nissa at some point in the future, but definitely just getting big Teferi in. So now the question is, do I tuck their Gideon? Or do I tuck Fires? Like, they could just go off with this Fires, but they passed without a second spell at all, which makes me think their hand is really weird. I'm just going to draw. That's an excellent card for next turn. And jam this Wayfinder. This is at least a speed bump for the Teferi. Or for the Gideon. There's so many Planeswalkers in play. Alright, this doesn't matter because they have Teferi, but here we go. If they have a second small Teferi, they could minus bounce Satyr Wayfinder, get a card, just cash this in. I guess even if they don't have a second one, that might be pretty good here. Because once you have fires, you just want to keep ramming spells onto the stack. Yeah, so next turn we can cast Nissa, flip Nissa, and Elspeth Conquers Death. Alright, 4/4 creature. Are they going to clear Wayfinder or just let me block? Deafening Clarion. Alright, so Gideon's going to have lifelink now, and the coast is clear. This will be an interesting decision, if they just clear small Teferi or if they damage big Teferi. Alright, that's fine. It's kind of funny because the important part of small Teferi is also written on Fires of Invention. You can only cast spells on your turn. Figure out where I can put these companions that I don't mind them. I like mine just sitting down here, like in my hand. But I don't want to forget it exists. I also don't want it to be in the way. Alright, so there's their second spell for the turn. It's a pretty good one. Alright, so these are the piles. Big Teferi and the 2 lands. They're going to take Big Teferi. I bet they wish they had not Deafening Clarioned. And if it were me, I would definitely prefer that Big Teferi is in play. Okay, so what are the words on you? Create a 4/4. Draw a card. And untap 6 lands, they're giant creatures. Okay, so we know about Big Teferi in the hand over there. I can clear some number of these permanents. Like, I could tuck with Teferi and Conquer Death, or I could just conquer one of these. I'm gonna start with this. Alright, you're a Planeswalker now. And do I want to draw a card or make a 4/4? The 4/4 is such a juicy Teferi target. I think I'm just going to draw a card. Raven Inspector in my hand. So what am I most worried about? I'm most worried about Big Teferi. That's the true answer. But I think I'm going to conquer Death on the Gideon. If they want to bounce this with Little Teferi, they are welcome to do that. And the question is, do I tuck anything else? Like, I could tuck Detention Sphere, get my Little Teferi back. I guess Little Teferi bouncing Conquers Death is pretty nutso. Alright, I talked myself into that. So I guess I could bounce Fires and slow them down significantly. Yeah, I can use Yorion to refire the Conquer's Death. So yeah, I'm going to bounce the Fires. Alright, that looked pretty good. This mirror is really interesting though. Or it's not quite a mirror, but this matchup is really interesting. I'm gonna have to start thinking about the clock though, unfortunately. If I can't get them dead quickly. I think once this stalemate breaks, it's... Wow, they gave me that back? That's surprising. But once this stalemate breaks, I think someone's gonna win very quickly. Like once the tit for tat stops. Alright, there's the fires, and then here comes Big Teferi, probably. Unless they have a like Cavalier of Red or something. They played a land and took 2. I'm not sure why they took the 2. Alright, so I'm gonna exile that. That's a scary one. Alright, so this Teferi has to draw this turn. Don't have enough loyalty for any other abilities. I can use the C to set up Nissa. Or to just draw this. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. It's not a whole lot. Alright, that card just came into play. That's good. Get rid of Elspeth. Maybe Jace was actually scarier. I'm not sure, honestly. Alright, we actually get to use this mana because we have a clue this time. That's nice. So my goal with my creatures is to just protect my planeswalkers so I can Supreme Verdict. We only know about Big Teferi, I think. Alright, now we're gonna see some other stuff. Alright. I'm gonna separate the Triome because cycling, finding another card, is really good when you can't use your mana on your spells. So now they have land number 7 and a redundant fires. They chose that over drawing a card, which I'm kind of surprised by, but I guess I don't know their hand. And maybe taking 2 cards over 1 is always right in the control mirror. Who knows? Alright, there's Teferi. Finally arrived. Tucking my Teferi. I'm a little surprised by that, unless they have another answer to Conquer's Death. Ooh, spicy. It's go time. So what does this even do? I guess it removes fires temporarily so they can play more things. It resets all their planeswalkers' loyalty, it kills one of my creatures, and deals 2 to me. Yeah, let's see if they have a spell, because that would be a pretty cool combo to temporarily blink your fires so you can spend your mana for a turn, then fires comes back. after getting 2 free spells off it. It's tight. Respect. I'm not sure if attacking is worth it for them. Alright, they've decided it is. I don't even know who they're attacking. It's Small Teferi. Fair enough. I'm going to Supreme Verdict next turn anyway. Almost certainly. Kind of like the idea of having Yorion when they don't. Drawn from Dreams. Wowee. That's a good card to sneak in when your Fires is in exile. I'll dig through time. I hope they don't have Narset. Detention Sphere. Lame. Taking my Nissa. Sure. Their cards are back. They deal 3. I guess they're already in the end step, so this isn't going to trigger. I don't even take 2. That's cool. Alright, opponent spells cost more. Alright, what do we do here? Pretty sure I have to Wrath the Yorion. Just get those jerks out of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't have enough mana to do everything I'd want to. So I think I have to Yorion here just to get rid of their big Teferi. Alright, so I'm going to get to draw a card and scry 2 and get rid of their big Teferi off of this Yorion. That's pretty good. I don't think I want either of those. Alright, the bird serpents have both dropped. Yikes. Gain 2 life, make mana. Alright. I'm still more scared of Teferi than Narset. They agree. They put the Teferi in their hand. This Jace has been really good. Yeah, so out of the sideboard, Aether Gust and the other thing, Knight of Autumn, are both going to be good here. Like, they're pulling ahead because they can double spell and I can't. My poor Teferi is gone. Five mana Detention Sphere. Oh, they bounce their own fires. They must be up to something over there. Or they just forgot about the tax. All right, there's the tax again. All right, so let's get this Planeswalker back online. I think there's one left. Yep. Flip you. Inspector, not super exciting. Oh, they desphered my Yorion? That's bold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Big Teferi. Inspector. Uro. Alright, so now I'm going to tuck their detention sphere, get back Yorion. And that's going to Inspector, boom, Teferi. I actually don't want to target Nissa. She is better where she is. Inspector. Exile Big Teferi again. Still most afraid of that. Don't want either of those. And off we go again. This has been a lot of fun. I'm extremely worried about the clock though. Like even if I win this game, I'm gonna have to recoup a lot of clock because there's a lot of clicking involved in this. Alright, so unless they replay fires, I do have to worry about Supreme Verdict. Alright, they replayed fires. Cool. Yeah, plussing Teferi when they don't have fires in play makes me worry about getting verdicted on my own turn. Alright, so they're probably going to make Yorion not do any damage. I think we can start going bonkers pretty soon. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card with Nissa. Growth Spiral. I'm going to play Little Teferi. It's going to bounce Conquer's Death. I guess bouncing Yorion was probably slightly better because it does the same thing, but other stuff also. Green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blue-green, Growth Spiral. Would not like to pay 2. Tuck Gideon. Attack Teferi. Oh, it doesn't even matter. They plus Jace. Alright, you got me, opponent. Alright, was that enough? That was an insane turn, but Fires is a powerful magic card. We now have 2 big threats, so they need a Supreme Verdict to get ahead of this. I have another Conquer's Death. This has been the all-star in this matchup, for sure. Bottom, bottom, we love it. And that's a pretty bad spell to have to cast off your fires. Narset's a pretty good spell though, but they're done casting spells, so I'll take that. Alright, Nissa does not draw cards. She puts them in your hand. Drawn from Dreams. Can't cast that, you've already played 2 cards. Alright, that costs more. I want to Conquer Death the Nissa so I can actually draw a card off Uro in combat. Alright, attack Teferi, attack my opponent. Don't think I need to untap that. And plus, 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 land, and I think I just pass here. I'm probably not even going to crack my clues unless they do something really important. I'm just trying to save time at this point. Though with fires and Drawn from Dreams, they could string something crazy together here. Yikes. Alright, they've granted a wish. What messed up thing do they have? Ruinous Ultimatum. Destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. That's pretty good. Shit. These ultimatums are so ruinous. I guess I should have scryed before I did any of that drawing. Omen Verdict. Lame. Blue-green. There are none left. I just fetch for no reason. Alright. Playing fast should have also omened there. Bottom, bottom. Green, green, blue, blue. Yeah, I'm just playing poorly because I'm so worried about the clock right now. That ultimatum was rough. Verdict also rough. But I could have scryed before drying. Like, I definitely don't want this baffling end. Alright, we're not going to be able to win this match, but I am going to try to win this game. See if we can save anything. They just bounce their fires. Yuck. I hate when they do that. That means they have good spells to cast. Couldn't they have done that for free? This Teferi cast that for free, then bounce fires, and then do more stuff? I guess fires, you don't get to like reset the fires. It only cares how many you've cast this turn, not necessarily that it knows about them. Do I even have any action left in my deck? What am I looking for? Not a growth spiral. Oh, I guess I have to pick a different permanent. Crap. I thought I could get my Nissa back, briefly. Green, green, blue, blue. And just start cashing these in for cards. Oh god. Why would they stack them like this? That's so annoying. I hope I picked the right one. Alright. Fires of Invention. Plus granted. It's a good combo. Runa's Ultimatum. Ikoria making its mark here. And we know they have a second Fires in hand from thousands of years ago when we gave them one with the Jace. Yeah, Fires definitely was the mirror breaker here. Alright, now they're conquering death. Baffling end pretty bad. I guess I should slow down with the clicking. Elspeth Conquers Death actually does recur from the graveyard. I've probably messed that up just by not thinking about it. That would have been good 100 years ago. "16 cards left in my 80 card deck." This has been an adventure. Yeah, Conquer's Death can bring back Yorion. Gross. Okay, I've seen enough here. We are definitely not winning the match with 4 minutes left, and we're probably not winning this game either. They have thoroughly buried us at this point. So I'm going to concede the game and the match, if I can do that. Yeah, we're just going to go to the next one. All right, we're here for round 3. Oh, my opponent did not reveal a companion. What year is it? I think I have to mulligan this one. Lands and spells are what I want, and that only had one of those two things. I'll keep this and send Fabled Passage to the Shadow Realm. Alright, we didn't get Thoughtseize, that's lucky. Blooming Marsh. Who has Blooming Marsh in their deck? Thoughtseize decks, Sultai Delirium. This might be just Sultai Delirium. Oh, this is Niv, is it? It's gotta be. I guess I should Growth Spiral now, in case I draw Thraben Inspector. Alright, that was not Thraben Inspector, but there are 1-drops in the deck, so there's reasons to do it on your own turn. Sylvan Caryatid is not a card that's played in a whole lot of archetypes. Yeah, especially alongside Mana Confluence. Oh yeah, we're getting nived. Alright, we have thoroughly developed our mana here without anywhere to go. All dressed up, nowhere to go, as they say. Elspeth Conquers Death and Big Teferi are probably the draws I'm most interested in right now. Here comes a Niv Mizzet, or Bring Delight for Niv Mizzet. This Supreme Verdict is also a pretty good draw at this juncture, being able to clear out most of their mana and the Niv. Alright, so that wasn't that bad. They hit a lot of lands. So they have Bring Delight, Solar Blaze, and Uro. Yeah, so Supreme Verdict actually would be pretty great here. Because they get to Niv again, or something next turn with this Bring to Light if I don't clear out their mana monsters. Splat. Alright, so I'm going to play this Wayfinder, leaving up blue, green, blue, green. So green, 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 blue, blue. Green, green, blue, blue. Yeah, that works. Hoping to spike an Uro in this mill. Alright, we got there. And green, green, blue, blue. And now I'll start thinking about what I'm exiling because Elspeth Conquers Death actually does care. Nice. We did the old Growth Spiral into Thraben Inspector trick. This turn's probably going to be interesting. Like, do they Solar Blaze away their own Niv to kill my Uro? Do they bring Delight for an answer to Uro? They can bring Delight at instant speed because of Teferi, which is super fucked up. I'm not sure that's the play I would have made. Unless they have another answer to Uro, then it's fine. Yeah, alright, that'll do. Yuck. Alright. Yuck. Alright, so I'm gonna attack Teferi with everything. And I just have to Yorion, unfortunately. It's not even good, but there it is. I'm gonna do one of the Wayfinders. Maybe I should do both. Whatever. Full value. We're doing it all. Though they can almost certainly bring to light for some unmoored ego or something to clear up my arrows. There goes all the supreme verdicts I was talking about. And stone nothing on that one. Cool. Alright, so against this stack we're bringing in Mystical Dispute and Aether Gust for sure. Punishing Niv and Bring to Lights. The Baffling Ends are coming out, Supreme Verdicts are staying in. Gonna continue to get mashed by this Niv. I can chump block, but I don't really wanna. Jeez. So I should attack first. They can Bring to Light in response, but if they Bring to Light for a removal spell, then I at least want that to happen during combat, and then I can Uro and see what happens after that. Like, they could just get another Niv and block. If they do that, they lose to Fairy. Yep. Yep. And how bad is it this time? They found a big Teferi, another Bring to Light, Dreadbore, and Nahiri. Those are all pretty good. They did lose Teferi though. Little Teferi. Oh wait, no, that is Little Teferi, not Big Teferi. I don't even think they play Big Teferi. Alright, green, blue, blue, green. Maybe we'll draw a spell we can cast. Ooh, okay. I'll take that. Feels kinda bad to bounce Niv Mizzet, but at the same time, like, let's not take 6 again. And unless they have a, oh no, they have the Caryatid. I was gonna say Goose doesn't tap for mana, but they do have 4 plus Caryatid. And now they at least have to decide if they're gonna redeploy their Niv or do some other crap this turn. Like, this might be a good Solar Blaze turn. That kills Uro and my Wayfinders. But like, literally anything they do that doesn't deal 12 damage to me is fine. Like, Elspeth Conquers Death and Big Teferi, like, there's still draws in this deck that can make this game competitive. They've nived twice, and we're still at 12 and on a stable board, and we're way ahead on onboard resources. They're way ahead in hand. And they have 11 cards in hand, so that if they can't dump a bunch of stuff this turn, they're actually kind of, they're gonna have to discard a bunch of stuff. All right, so there's the Wrath. 10 cards still in hand. I'd still be cool with a Supreme Verdict. Just saying. Conquers Death. All right, that was good. That was one of the things we were looking for. That's part of the engine. And we know they have 2 Planeswalkers and a Niv in hand. So there's going to be a juicy target for this sooner or later. They discarded 2 caryatids. Blue, green, blue, green. Alright, I think between Big Teferi and Yorion, this Conquer's Death has enough food. Yeah, we can keep that. Bottom. I don't actually want either of these. I should evoke this arrow and hope that I click correctly because they're going to put them in a stupid stack. Keep the bottom one. I think that's how that works. I will pay 2 life so I can opt. It's crazy that we've drawn 40 cards already this game and there's still 40 cards in our deck. That's my favorite thing about playing this deck. Alright, so now Supreme Verdict, it doesn't deny them 5 colors of mana anymore. They can still just tap their lands for a Niv Mizzet or Bring to Light. Double Conquer's Death is nice though, and we have the mana to do it. Have to opt in response, use it or lose it. That's pretty good. Just more material on board, Planeswalkers to gain advantage. There should be 1 forest left in the deck, unless I've discarded it and exiled it already. Is it Nahiri time? Are we going to get to eat 2 Planeswalkers this turn? They're deciding. It's a tough one. Oh, they're our own Uro. Alright, well, I'll be happy to conquer that thing's death. Exile target enchantment is one of the words on Nahiri, unfortunately. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana. That's not enough to do everything I want to do. So I can exile Uro. And Teferi. And just try to overload the Nahiri. That might be how I have to do this. So Nahiri can exile one of these. Oh, I'm kind of into that. Alright, Dreadbore and Nahiri. Wow, they plus Nahiri. I'm very happy that that happened instead of exiling one of my enchantments. Oh, they didn't even have a loot. That's interesting. Unless they have something they can bring to light for. That answers them both. That would make sense. I don't want either of these cards. Okay, got it, got it. We drew a Rita Fairy. That's so good. Let's Nissa first. Okay, I must have milled that one already. It's fine. There she is. Arrows in my hand. Oh no, I've punted. I don't have enough mana to do everything I wanted to do. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I miscounted that. I went mad with having so much power, so many. So many choices. Smash Nahiri a little bit. And whatever. Green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, that actually kind of sucks. I'm actually just gonna evoke one of these. I guess I should have done Glacial Fortress so I can draw off my clue. Loosey-goosey, baby. You know how we do. Yeah, I played that whole turn kind of poorly. I got greedy with the Nissa. I should have counted my mana. I just had so many lands. I was like, I can do everything. But I actually couldn't. I was one short to Nissa plus Teferi plus bounce this plus eat Nahiri. I think that would have won the game if I did that. Let's hope they can't kill both of these. Please just like jam Niv Mizzet into play or something. Alright, they looted again with Nahiri. Either they have these covered in a different way, or they're choosing to ignore them, or they just don't realize what they can do there. Wow, these are going to pop. Alright, let's pop. Alright, so I want to target the Teferi first and the Yorion second. So Yorion comes into play first. Alright, so then Yorion gets to exile this one, and these two. Then do I also get Teferi? Yes, I do. Nice. That did work in the way that I dreamed it would. I don't have to tuck anything because the Conqueror's Death is going to come back anyway. And then blue, blue, green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I already have a big Teferi in play. Just keep drawing cards with Nissa. What's happening to me? Exile Nissa? That was a little late to do that, but okay. Wayfinder. So I can actually just have Nissa back right away. Oh god. Alright, I'll make a 4/4 this time. Come on back, friends. What else are you doing? They have so many spells. Oh, they're just making food. That's fine. This is crazy. I'm having so much fun with this deck. Let's see if they have a brutal ultimatum, whatever it's called. Mardu ultimatum. Yeah, Dreadbore. You got me. Fairy, I should have opted in response, my bad. Wow. Okay. Deal. Are they trying to deck me? Or I guess they could, like, unmoored ego me or something now and get rid of Yorion. Yeah, if they don't have a follow-up that clears Yorion out of my hand, they definitely should have bounced Uro instead. We'll see. Alright, Abrupt Decay Uro, that makes sense. Alright, they did have a plan. Much to my chagrin. I'm like starting to wonder if decking myself is possible. I suppose anything's possible. Alright, so get this goose out of here. Go to combat, attack to fairy, and opponent. All their shit's dead. Land comes into play, land comes into play. Inspector. Big Teferi. I could definitely deck myself. I'm not even wondering about it anymore. It's just could totally happen. I guess I shouldn't have attacked Teferi because I'm gonna be looping the Conqueror's Death anyway. Yeah, that was bad. Yeah, you get bigger. No. Yield to these. So we have out. Remember at the beginning of this game when they had like turn 3 and turn 4 Niv Mizzets and attacked a bunch of times? I mean, they could bring Delight for Supreme Verdict basically at any time, I think, unless it's exiled already. Oh, whoops. I forgot this comes back as a thing. So I just reset my Planeswalker for no reason. Well played. You got me. Thoughtseize resolves. We're going to take Detention Sphere, because that can answer Uro, but so can Big Teferi. I already have one of those. I guess it's hard to deck yourself with Big Teferi. Alright. We got answers for Uro. So I'm going to attack before I make my land drop, because this Nissa is good for 2 damage before it becomes a Planeswalker. And then she morphs. Little Teferi. I do have one of those already. I'm going to pick up the Conquer's Death just for future use. Alright, you're out of here. You're out of here. This deck does take a lot of time to click through. I think, did I even activate this? I think I just forgot to plus Big Teferi. We've drawn 65 cards this game. Let me just remind everyone. Alright, there's Nahiri. Alright, see you later, big guy. You've done your job. Alright, so they can gain 3 off that food, effectively 2 because of mana confluence. I think they're just dead. Yeah, I'm not going to spend any time doing anything else. Just clear this goose and then attack for lethal. Don't think I even had to clear the goose, but I could jam the spell faster than I could do the math. Alright, winner. Now let's see if we can do it faster this time. Alright, so Mystical Dispute and Aether Gust are both pretty good. Things that are less good, Baffling End. Baffling End is basically only good against Uro, and Gust does the same thing. I do like all of my setup cards, the Growth Spirals and such. Little Teferi's good, Big Teferi and Conquer's Death were insane. Supreme Verdict's pretty important in this matchup, because they do draw billions of cards, but ultimately they're killing you with creatures. Maybe Satyr Wayfinder is not that important. Satyr Wayfinder fuels the yard for a quick Uro, which I don't want to like board crazy because I only have 8 minutes on my clock. I do want to actually try to play the game. Courser might not be super important here, or I could play one less Supreme Verdict because I'm also trying to win with creatures. Yeah, but they have so much mana invested in their creatures. All right, I'm down to do it like this. Yes. This is a keeper. It's pretty awkward. Every land comes into play tap for a long time, but it's still a keeper. We are going to be able to represent Mystical Dispute on the turn they're going to go for Teferi, so that's nice. I'm just fetching now to get a little bit of click value, some F6 value, as they say. Let's see if they dispute me back. However, disputing there means I don't get to dispute the next thing, but I wasn't going to get to dispute the next thing anyway because the next thing is going to would have had Teferi in play. Uro was better there than Teferi because there's nothing to bounce, there's nothing to protect, and jumping ahead on both cards and resources is pretty important. All right, we're about to get nived. Wish we had a second dispute. Been blowout city. I kind of hope this is just Niv and not Bring to Light, because Bring to Light leaves a little bit of... Alright, there's a little bit of wonder. Like, they're probably just going to get Niv, but they might have some techie thing that just wrecks me somehow. Alright, nope, they just went for the Niv. Did they brick? Holy shit, I've never seen that happen in my life. Wow. It's the old 5 mana 6/6 flying. They did bring in Rest in Peace against me though, so there's that. Good to know. Don't want that. I do want an untapped land. Land? Nice. I'd rather get this going than stick the Teferi this turn. Because Teferi would have to minus to tuck the Niv Mizzet anyway, and this just makes it gone. And now I'm ready to answer their next thing also, which might just be another Niv. Oh, nope, Nahiri. Let's see, have they figured out how to exile enchantments yet? Ah, they know. Bummer. That was my secret in the last game. That was my whole plan the whole time. All right, now we can start doing this. I can play this tap because I'm gonna untap anyway. Might be getting Dreadboard here. Dreadboard is fine because it doesn't draw them 6 cards. Remember that time their Niv Mizzet bricked? Oh my god. Yep, there's the Dreadboar. I think they're just getting some F6 value here also. Fair enough. Bottom, bottom. Right now I actually do just want to hit land drops. Let's get Nahiri out of there. She is providing a lot of selection. I mistapped. I took 2 damage for no reason there. I could have just tapped differently on the Teferi. What you got for me? So if I draw a land, all right, I did not draw a land. I could still draw a land. Still didn't draw a land. All right. Like that. Put you right on top. All right, so I can Teferi, Nissa. Nissa finds the land, then Nissa flips. I'm gonna make a 4/4 with Nissa. All right, this is looking pretty good. Just gotta actually kill them in 5.5 minutes. They're drawing Nahiri next turn. Wow, Aether Gust is gonna crush that plan pretty well. You draw a card. I'm gonna reset that anyway. Yes, my life total probably doesn't matter here. I don't want either of these. All right, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get to Yorion. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bounce all those into the end step. Get a bunch more cards. I didn't need a second Supreme Verdict. I was thinking I'll keep one of those just in case, but I already had one. I already had two, Jesus. Yep, looking at the clock instead of the board. The cardinal sin of Magic Online. So I'm not even sure if I care about Nahiri. Hostage taker. Ooh, that's gross, actually. I do care about that. That's going to take my Yorion, and then they get to cast it. That's fine, I guess. I can Supreme Verdict. Yeah, so I'll let them cast the Yorion, and then I'll... Oh, no, I minus Teferi. So I can still Supreme Verdict, it's fine. I just have to do it on my turn, like a caveman. That was a good card to be hiding under all of those draw steps. So now they get to take my Thraben Inspector, unless they just want to kill the 4/4. Alright, that's better, because that way after I Supreme Verdict, they don't end up with a clue. I'm not going to pay 2 life this time. Plus, plus. And here comes Uro. Green, green, blue, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The only card in their hand is Nahiri. I can gust that. Don't think I need to play this Wayfinder for any reason. I guess because it's free to do would have been a good reason. All right, 3 minutes to connect with this Uro twice. Are they just not playing the Nahiri? That is the card in their hand, right? Did I lose track of something? All right, so I'm gonna just try to fill my hand with counterspells here as well as I can. And I don't play a ton of them, so that is what it is. But just like a second Aether Gust would be pretty great. So I'll make this 4/4 creature. Discard this, this, and this. There's Nahiri. I'll gust her and hope we win. All right, we did it. That was close. This clock is stressful with this deck. Let's get into another one. All right, we're on the play in another Yorion mirror. Let's go beat down. This hand is actually pretty aggressive. The old 1-2, 1-2, 5, 1-2, 3-5. Shit, that was actually devastating. That's going to mess up our turn 4 Teferi by missing that land. So we need to find a land in one of our next two draw steps. Between Uro and the next two draw steps, we need 2 lands. Yikes. All right, now that matters a lot less. Let's see if they want to strip the... Yeah, that's the pretty clear choice, I would think. All right, I like Omen better than Uro, I think. No, I lied. I like Uro. Just protect my information a little bit. Nice. I guess if I omened into a land, I could have clued also, so that's an argument to do it the other way. And also if I omen and clue into 2 lands, I can Yorion for multiple things. Target opponent sacks a creature, this one easily. Alright, so I still can't get Uro with the mana I have available here. Bottom, top. I'd rather play into removal than discard, I think. And this kind of forces them to deal with Nissa right now. Oh my god, what does this do? You lose the game. So they have some way to donate that to me, I'm sure. Exile target non-land permanent. Okay. So blue, blue, green, green. I can flip Nissa right now, so I should attack first. And blue, blue, green, green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I would like to take 2 because I'm going to de-sphere this pact before it gets to do anything. I'm going to make the 4/4. Get rid of pact. Oh, I guess Yorion is a combo with pact. Just built right in. Alright, I got it. Alright, and they packed it up. Yeah, that was aggro as fuck. Most of our game ones have lasted 22 minutes. That one took 3 or 4. Not bad. Okay, so they showed us multiple enchantments. Their deck's pretty cool. So I definitely want Knight of Autumn. I don't think I want any of this stuff. I definitely don't want this. It's likely that Mystical Dispute would be able to counter something at some point, but also whatever. They didn't really show me anything for Baffling End. And Supreme Verdict might be questionable also. So this enchantment removal seems pretty good. Narset might be great. If we're playing Narset, what are we getting rid of? Black-white, they might mess with my graveyard, which makes Uro a lot worse. But in an 80 card deck, they have to find the Rest in Peace, which is kind of funny that the fact that they're Yorion makes their sideboard worse. Maybe I don't need both Barrier Breach. Maybe I don't need this many Knights, but Knight can double as just a 4/3 body for the beatdowns. Maybe I'll cut one more Verdict for Narset and a Wayfinder for the other Narset. I'm gonna run it like this. I have no idea if these numbers are right. In an 80 card deck, all of my, like, in addition to just not being sure if that's what we want to be doing, the math on the 80 card deck is just super weird to me, as it should be to anyone. I'm gonna mulligan this because it doesn't do anything. That's even worse. Alright, that's a keeper. I'll get rid of this. This. Alright. So we're gonna need some green mana at some point, but this hand is pretty functional. If they Thoughtseize the Omen, that would be pretty shitty. It would also be pretty bold, because then I'd just still have Teferi. The Birth of Melodus. I'm so jealous that that's in their deck. What a great card. Alright, they didn't Thoughtseize our Omen, so we have... If any of the top 4 cards of our deck are a green source, we'll be alright. We'll be in business. They're just like pure value over there. Everything they do generates another card. That's kind of a green source. I would like to draw an untapped one right now, but I'm not going to bottom that. I could actually just jam Teferi here. Which, they'll end up getting another card if I bounce the Raven Inspector, but having Teferi in play is pretty cool. Just trying to recover from this mulligan here. That uses my mana better. Oh, they had this card. Poor play. I guess that cost their whole turn. That wasn't so bad. Alright, I'll find a forest. I'll make Uro happen. And hope to find a land so I can also omen. Never lucky. Alright. We made it 4 turns without missing a land drop. That wasn't bad, considering the circumstances. They're gonna get a pretty juicy Yorion next turn. If they play the Thraben Inspector now. Especially if they have anything to follow it up. Alright, I mean this hand isn't super susceptible to a Thoughtseize. Interesting that they care about that. Wow, big Yorion. Alright, so I'm gonna wayfind. Alright, we found a way. So I guess now the question is, do I care more about drawing a card? I guess I'll destroy the Melodus. I want to minimize the impact of this Yorion, because I think it's just going to bury me anyway. We can Uro next turn if they don't mess with our graveyard now. Oh, they didn't Yorion, that's cool. It's just another birth of Melodus. I'm so jealous. I've been clung to dust. Brutal. That's a good card in this particular spot. Alright, Omen. Give me something I actually want to draw. And I have not made a land drop yet this turn, so I am somewhat interested in that. Ooh, I like that. I'll do that next turn. Alright, I want to take them off an actual card here. I actually don't super care about the wall. And next turn, I think it's actually close between getting Nissa online or casting Yorion. Because Yorion is good for a lot of cards. If they go for theirs, I might have to go for mine. Yeah, there they are. So they're going to get 2 clues, a plains, and a wall off of this. I think we can do better. We can destroy both clues. And draw 2 plus find a land. Yeah. Alright, fine. One, two, three, four, 5. A real man would have cast Satyr Wayfinder first. But I am not that. Alright, destroy target artifact or enchantment. That. That. Alright, gonna Wayfinder first, because it doesn't make any sense to Omen first. Bottom, top, love that Teferi. Bottom, top, love that land drop. And then I'll deny their extra cards. And here we are. We've both spewed our Yorion. Let's see if they can recycle theirs. They probably also have Elspeth Conquers Death in their deck. Just seems like a pretty obvious card to have in any deck like this. Doom Foretold, oh my god. Player sacrifices a non-land, non-token permanent. If they can't, they discard a card. They lose 2 life. You draw a card. You gain. Oh my god. Okay, I'll sack this Seder Wayfinder for starters. Now let's make Nissa happen. Boy, do I love drawing cards. Do they have a removal spell? Shit. They're tapping mana. Stop it. Swift End. Okay. That was a swift one. Alright, so Nissa doesn't flip. Now we can Growth Spiral and find the way. Alright, so there's an Uro in my graveyard. Unfortunately, they still have Cling to Dust in theirs. Let's hope they just miss it. Do you think we're that lucky that they'll just forget? Oh wow, Flicker of Fate. We're so unlucky. Yeah, they're definitely deeper on abusing Yorion than we are. Shit, they remembered. Alright, let's show them some real card advantage. Oh yeah, that's what I was looking for. I'm actually just going to hold my horses on Little Teferi because I want to bounce Yorion with it. I have the mana up to Scry 2 in my end step, but I don't think I'm going to do that because I'd rather, like, I have to sack to Doom Foretold, and then I still want to maximize my Yorion. God, all 4. So nice. Demonic Pact, alright. That doesn't do anything till next turn. Any target you gain 4. Target opponent draws you. Alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna feed one of these. Or one of these, maybe. No, one of these, yeah. I'd rather draw a card. Alright, so Teferi draws a card. Gross Spiral draws a card. Oh god, there's Urborg in play now. I'm gonna have to navigate that. Then I'm actually not gonna Wayfind. Because I am gonna get some scries and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Have I played a land yet? I have not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you, and you. Gonna leave Big Teferi there because he's well above starting loyalty. Guess I can play this thing too. Just I missequenced that a little bit because I forgot if I had made a land drop or not. Alright, Yorion. I'm destroying Demonic Pact. I don't want to mess with that. Bottom, top, and bottom, bottom. This Doom Foretold. What happens when this pops off? A player can't. They discard a card. They lose 2 life. You draw a card. You gain 2 life. Okay. I'm not even sure what that does after having just read it. So, oh, they just packed it up. All right. So Doom Foretold, what this actually does is each player has to sacrifice a non-land, non-token permanent in their upkeep. If that player can't, they discard a card, they lose 2 life, and then you, the owner of Doom Foretold, draw a card, gain 2 life, and create a knight. So if the Doom pops off on your own turn, you discard a card, you lose 2 life, then you immediately redraw a card and gain those 2 life back, and you get a knight. So basically, if it pops off on your turn, a bunch of card neutral and life neutral things happen, then you get a knight. If it pops on your opponent's turn, it's kind of a 3-for-1. I don't know. What a weird card. All right. I'm glad we won that one. Their deck had some cool stuff, like that Flicker of Fate was pretty awesome, and I was really jealous of their Birth of Melodus, but by and large, it did look like we had a more powerful deck than they did. On to the final round. All right, we're here in the final round. They're a Luris deck, and we are a Yorion deck still, obviously. I'm going to keep. My hand's a little slow, but having 2 Supreme Verdicts against a Luris deck might be pretty great. Lumbering Falls is a little awkward because it doesn't play with our check lands. But I still want to get it into play now while the getting's good. Alright, so we're playing against the SRAM Auras deck that's been upgraded with some Luris. We are going to need another white mana. Baffling End is probably the best draw in the whole deck. Or Teferi. Baffling End and Teferi. Either one. Please and thank you. That's not either one. Uh-oh. If we don't draw a white source, we actually might just die. We actually might just die anyway. So each of these is giving +3/+3. Apparently I'm playing against a friend of a friend. Yeah, so if they have just a couple more auras here, we could actually just lose this turn. Alright, Teferi and Baffling End aren't good enough now, but untap white source does a lot of work. Alright, come on, deck. Don't let me down now. Not like this. White source, FML. And we're just dead. Alright. Our mana was a little awkward against the SRAM Aura's nut draw. Okay, so exiling enchantments is good, destroying enchantments is good, Aether Gust has no text at all, and the rest of these don't matter. Elspeth Conquers Death has basically no targets out of this deck, which sucks because that's the engine that I'm most excited about in this deck. Uro is probably a little slow, but it does also let us dig and jump. It's our best way to close the game once we're there. Teferi's pretty big and unwieldy. I think I can cut an Uro. Maybe that's a terrible plan, but I've done it. Corsair is a bit mopey, but Corsair has a big butt. I guess we are boarding in 3 more, or 4 more 3-drops. This is how I want to present my deck. Yes, alright, let's go. Good enough. The secret is to not die very quickly. If you don't die quickly, then you're likely to win. Reveal my companion. Oh no, what a tease this is. This has double Baffling End. There are 31 lands left in our 72 card deck, so we're like a little under 50-50 to draw one. Oh, this is close. I think I'm gonna mulligan. I'm a coward. Alright, I'll keep this. This is kind of better. This doesn't have any answers, but it does have plenty of setup. The other hand was the opposite. Just no setup, but tons of answers. It's actually really interesting. I wonder what percentage of players would have kept the first hand. I imagine it's pretty high. So if I shock in Breeding Pool, I guess I can shock in Breeding Pool anytime. I'll just not take damage instead. How about that? Alright, so I have this blocker who can soak up some damage, and I can look at a bunch of cards. Got him. Joke's on you, my hand has no cards in it. Oh no, shit. I guess they're gonna get a Knight of Autumn. Hopefully they think my hand sucks though, and then just run into the Knight of Autumn afterwards. Thoughtseize is such a good card. Azelid of Azelzid. Runner, runner, chicken dinner. I believe that's what they say. Destroy this while I can. Alright, so now I just have to make it up to Yorion. Alright, Ephemia. The Cacophony. That's a pretty sweet card. Thoughtseize me again. Bummer. That's not a Thoughtseize. Supreme Verdict is completely bananas here. So if I block, I save 4. It makes Yorion a little worse. I think that's fine. I'll save 4. I'm most interested in Supreme Verdict anyway. So I want to like play to my best card, kinda. If that makes any sense. Nice. That was a good find. It sucks that they have this flying creature, but it's still gonna do a lot of work. I get to reset this hoplite. They can kill Teferi, whatever. It drew a card. That's all I ever want out of my cards. And I am not going to trade Knight of Autumn for a zombie if they attack, because I want to flicker the Knight of Autumn. So they could Luris and then cast Ethereal Armor onto Ephemia. That would be pretty brutal. God, Luris is so good here. Yep, there it is. We really need a Supreme Verdict immediately. All right, so I'm going to take the 4 here. All right, so I can kill Ephemia temporarily. I guess I should attack into Luris. I will happily trade this knight with the Luris. All right, they did not take the bait. Boom, boom. So we get to slow things down by zapping the Ephemia, and then we get 3 looks for... Actually, do I even care about Ephemia? Maybe I just... Yeah, I guess that's the best one. It's fine, Supreme Verdict. Teferi's pretty good. Tucking the Luris could buy me some time. Yeah, this has been rough. The game 1 mana issues, and we're also suffering from 80 card deck. Like, playing against aggressive decks like this is exactly where them having an 80 card deck is a problem, because we are less likely to draw the cards that are important. That's an easy block there. Come on, Supreme Verdict. I think Supreme Verdict will just win the game, but other than that, we are digging deep. All right. I could tuck the zombie, but I actually can't because they have Azelid. Let's just start digging and distract them with a juicy planeswalker to attack. Maybe they'll do that instead of just killing me outright. It's nice that all my creatures are white, because if they give their one of their big zombie protection from white to try to attack through my creatures, it'll drop all the auras. Sucks I gotta take 2, but it's worth it. Even get to crack a clue this turn because of Teferi. Looking at this 65 card deck and knowing that we need to find a 4 of is just breaking my heart. We have some nice fodder though. Let's see, blue, green, colorless, blue, blue, green, green. We can actually evoke and escape Uro next turn. This will get us a bunch of life and a bunch of cards deeper. That is assuming they attack in a way that kills Thraben Inspector. Yikes. it might be time for Yorion to die, unfortunately. I will make whatever blocks are required to save Teferi, if it's possible to do. I'm worried about Karametra's Blessing. That can protect from Supreme Verdict. Oh god. Another Azelid. Alcide? Alcide? Alzide? It's not a real word. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, Pro Blue. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so Teferi's gonna die, or I'm gonna go to 6, depending on what they think is important. Okay, they're probably right about that. Supreme Verdict. Alright, so they like a 2-2 more than they like more protection. It's interesting. Alright, so I think the Uro plan makes the most sense here. So, boom, boom. Blue, blue, green, green. Green, green, blue, blue. Yes, still works. Oh, wait. It still works. I'm just tapping wrong. Alright, so blue, green, white, and then blue, blue, green. Yes, it's there. Alright. Ooh, baffling end. That's good when they don't have Alcide in play. Blue, blue, green, green. I even still have Opt mana up. If I find another land, I could have Clue, but I have Opt either way. Alright. I am not going to take 2 for that, because Opt is better than Clue at finding what I want. Alright, now I have a diverse set of colors that my creatures are. That's good for dancing around Alzide. Alcide. Sound off in the comments about how wrong I'm pronouncing that card. Let's just hope I'm not actually dead. Like if their hand is like Ethereal Armor, all that glitters, I could just die. Alright, Pro Blue. Hateful Eidolon. So that was free to do, so that makes sense. And casting the Hateful Eidolon gets them an extra point with the all that glitters. All of it makes sense. Smart. Magic the Gathering. Supreme Verdict. Nissa. Nissa does draw a card. Guess I'll take it. Maybe that was terrible, but I did it. It's done. Okay, so what is the optimal sequencing here? So I want white, white, blue colorless left over at the end of everything. So if I cast Nissa, I get a land. And then I play the land, and I can Omen of the Sea, and then I can also attack with Uro. So that's the maximum number of looks I think I can get this turn. Alright, so then Nissa does her thing. And then Omen of the Sea. How about Omen of Supreme Verdict? Night of Autumn. You don't actually help me. So, can bottom the Night of Autumn, top the Opt, because I can still Opt and Supreme Verdict. Then, all right, so blue, white, white. If I leave these lands open, wait, yeah, I can still Verdict. Not you again. Supreme Verdict. Ooh. Hello, Barrier Breach. That's spicy. So I'm gonna lose Uro. No, I can exile Ethereal Armor if they choose to block. That's pretty sweet. Exile this, this, and this. Can't even lure them back because they're gone. That's kind of like Supreme Verdict, except it's Plague Wind instead. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That was going to happen regardless, but that saved me so much life. Wow. Barrier Breach, breaking Pioneer. You saw it here first. And by here, I mean on Menguuci's Twitter. Oh no. Whenever you cast an aura, equipment, or vehicle. So I think the last card in their hand is either Karametra's Blessing or nothing. Like, the way they've played this game. Okay, it's Favorite Hoplite. Did I know that? Was that the same game where I bounced it? Alright, so now it's time to find Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict right now would actually just end the game. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? Alright, so this is even better. I can just do it at instant speed. Alright, so it's going to be hard to lose the game from here. Now that I have Time Raveler, they can't even use Karametra's Blessing to save anything in response to Supreme Verdict. Whenever you cast such a spell. Alright, so I am going to Verdict before they get a chance to cast any spells. Actually, that's not even true. Like, if nothing changes, then I don't need to cast Supreme Verdict at all. I'm actually just beating down and winning. Yeah, so I can save the Supreme Verdict. There's no rush. Whoa, stop it, stop it, stop it. I was about to tap off a Verdict mana. Alright, I can save the Growth Spiral for later. Oh, I forgot to activate Nissa. I'm the fucking worst. I'm just so excited about drawing Supreme Verdict that I just forget how to play Magic. Cartouche of Solidarity. What are the words on this? And prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. Alright, that I don't care about. Alright, I am gonna Verdict here. Maybe not. I can block with... Yeah, I can just block. Doesn't have trample. This doesn't have like Planeswalker Death Touch. So I can just be patient. Like I have a real, they're on a 2-turn clock. And if I Wrath, I lose my Yorion and I boarded out my cards that can get it back. Did I just say I boarded out Yorion? I meant I boarded out uh, Elspeth Conquers Death. Talking is hard. All right, get some bonus white. And I can scry here. I've already Yorioned, so there's nothing left to blink. I don't need all that shit. Maybe I'll remember to activate Nissa this time. Maybe. Nice. All right, so plus you, plus you, plus you. Oh, this is creature or enchantment. That's interesting. They could have saved the All That Glitters from my breach earlier. That probably would have been better. Weird. I'm glad neither of us read the cards. All right, this is going to be, I guess, it's so tough deciding this Supreme Verdict because they're at 4 and I have this Yorion. I guess they can attack with this lifelink creature and this lifelink creature, so I am certainly going to Supreme Verdict this turn. All right, and they're Hellbent over there. Or they have 1 left. Just in with everything? Is that the plan? I suspect they'll concede to the Supreme Verdict. But I'm no expert on SRAM auras. Bang. This is where I lose to some onboard trick that I didn't consider. Nope, never mind. I guess if I had responded to All That Glitters, they would have drawn 1 less card. All right, but they did scoop it up to the verdict anyway. All right. So Conquer's Death. It exiles exactly Luris and no other cards. God, it's so bad except at looping Yorion. So I think it's right to have it out, even though it's sad to lose such a great resource. Uro was also bonkers, so I'm kind of into having him back in here. Especially on the draw where we might need to make up ground. Is it? No, I can't cut Growth Spiral after saying that Uro is good for being a Growth Spiral. Barrier Breach was insane. That definitely was the difference maker in that game. All right, upon reassessing the cards in the deck, I do think that presenting 3 Uros is correct. This hand is good. I'll keep it. It needs green sooner than later, but we have Opt and a removal spell. Alright, Hateful Eidolon is a good one because that cares about dying, not exiling. So hopefully they just like put 2 auras on it and pass. What I don't want to happen is if they have like a 1 mana aura, I guess it doesn't matter because Ailseed costs 1 to activate. Alright, yeah, so they just piled up on this thing and then we're gonna blow them with Baffling End. Or they're not gonna get their cards back. Come on, green source. Nice. Green source. Alright, so we're set up to win this game. We just need to hit land drops now. Baffled. Ooh, they just had nothing. Alright, and we found a green source. This is gonna be okay. Alright, yeah, we have Knight of Autumn, Baffling End, and Supreme Verdict lined up here. Yep. Sign me up. Thoughtseize. Alright, so we have less of those things than I thought, but maybe they're gonna look at our hand and realize they can't beat it. There's no shame in a concession when the game is over. I hope I talk all this shit and then lose. Just recover somehow, opponent. Alright, there's that thing. Alright, they just put some eyes on that. Alright, so now Supreme Verdict is operational, so I can just Knight of Autumn. Destroy the Alseed. It'll take Sentinel's Eyes with it, and then when they cast Luris, I'll have the Supreme Verdict ready. They'll need another Thoughtseize to dance out of this. So if they have an untapped land, they can Luris plus Alseed, and then get Supreme Verdicted out of here. Come on, Baffling End. Alright, so I don't have 5 mana, or else I could flicker Baffling End. Downgrading this to a dinosaur is totally worth doing. I could just Verdict here, or I could try to play a little more. That seems super greedy. I'm just gonna attack with my Knight, and then Verdict. Yeah, we cleared the Luris. Now we need to just hope that the last 4 cards in their hand aren't Hateful Eidolon, double Ethereal Armor. Alright, it looks like it's not. Alright, so Wayfinder first. Brick City. Oh, we milled both Burial Breaches and a Baffling End. This is bullshit. Alright, yikes. We gotta hope that I suspect that their hand is a pile of auras, and they just need something to wear them. Okay, okay. So you're saying there's a chance. I guess I should pop my clue before I do anything else. Because then that gives me an extra draw for my Growth Spiral to actually put a land into play. Like so. Alright, didn't need it. I'm gonna do the Temple Garden because that lets me avoid taking damage because I'm not using that mana this turn anyway. Alright, Yorion is now good for 2 cards and counting, or creeping up, and blinking the Baffling End again. Like if they pile a bunch of auras onto one thing, they'll need to be able to give it Hexbrew for some other comparable ability for that to matter. Opt is a pretty good card. Alright, I have lots of white. I have 2 blue, lots of green. Alright, I'll get a blue. Alright, is there anything I'd want to cast here? I don't think so. Oh, I guess yes. For some reason I thought this was another green-white land, and just opting into Teferi there would have been great. Just use all my mana, but I'm bad, so I missed it. Don't need another breeding pool. Alright, there's Teferi. So I can attack with these and deploy Teferi, who can bounce the Raven Inspector for it to redraw, get another clue. And I can play Knight of Autumn as a 4/4, or a 4/3, whatever the size of this thing is. And still draw a card. And we're ready for a big Yorion. And they packed it up. Nice. We put up a 4-1, only losing to a more powerful Yorion deck. We played against Companions in 4 of the 5 rounds, which is unsurprising because the mechanic is nutso. But yeah, this deck felt awesome. That was a lot of fun. When we got the engine online, like the Yorion looping Elspeth Conquers Death, which looped Yorion, I think that only happened once. Like we went full deep, but that was awesome. I was very impressed by our Jeskai Yorion opponent's Fires deck with the Wish package. Just getting wrecked by that ultimatum was certainly a thing. Barrier Breach MVP. So this deck was a lot of fun. Companions are super cool. Some of them are probably busted, but Yorion feels wholesome and fair. And this was fun. Try out this deck. I'll be messing around with more builds like this. I'll try to figure out the Jeskai version. There's a lot to be done here, and a lot of brewing to be done. The set is still only 4 days old, even though it feels like it's been years, if you've been watching Legacy Twitter. But thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Bosch and Roll. Check out my Patreon if you like written content, sideboard guides, that kind of thing. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.